So I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about women in the workplace, and I have a story about being a professional nagger. She was telling me she's getting some renovations done on her house, and she has a project manager who's a young woman in her late 20s or so. And one of the other men who is working on the renovations on the project kept making comments about the little girl who was the project manager and saying he didn't think that she was capable of doing the job. This reminded me of a time during my very first job when I was in my mid 20s working at an embassy. I was the assistant to the ambassador, and part of my job, part of my duties was getting all of the other heads of sections to give briefing memos, talking points, whatever the ambassador needed to get her job done. Whatever section was responsible for that topic, I would make sure that they would get her what she needed, right? Her talking points, her briefing memos, whatever that was. This entailed sometimes me going to the heads of other sections with very short fuse taskers or things that had come up, and the turnaround was really quick. And so had a lot of instances where I would have to go ask the heads of other sections, hey, we need talking points on this particular topic. We need a memo on this particular topic with a really short turnaround. And I will always remember the head of one section that I had gone to. I had this job for about a year, so this was maybe halfway through. I went to him with a short fuse tasking and a request for some talking points that was needed. And he said to me, he was like, you are going to make some man a very good wife one day. And he meant this as a compliment. He was not in his mind being derogatory. This was a genuine compliment. And he was saying this because he was like, you do your job very well. He's like, you're going to be a great nagger. And I, 25, 26-year-old me, just kind of laughed that off and got what I needed from him. But that story stuck with me because as a young woman in my position, that was basically my job, right? To be a professional nagger. But I did it in such a way where I always got what I needed from whoever it was I was asking for. Whenever I was asking, whatever I was asking from them, I always got what I needed. And they liked me. Like all of the other people in the embassy, they liked working with me. I got what I needed from my boss. I got it from people in such a way that they were, if not happy to give it to me, they weren't pissed off. They weren't upset about giving it to me. And some way, this older gentleman, in his mind, he was like, she's going to make a very good wife someday. You are a great professional nagger. And I say that to say that was probably an insulting statement. However, he meant it as a compliment. And then